All right, let's get right into it because we have a major AI showdown on our hands. With OpenAI's recent release of GPT-4o and Anthropic's Claude 3 family, the two giants have basically given us these incredibly powerful new tools. So naturally, we're going to put them head-to-head to see how they really stack up against each other. But here's the thing. This isn't about just crowning one winner. A Reddit user named Virtual Unk just hit the nail on the head. They said ChatGPT is the Swiss Army knife, Claude is the scalpel. And that's the perfect way to look at it. It's not about which one is better overall, but which one is the absolute right tool for the job you need to get done. So let's set the stage for this title fight. Both OpenAI and Anthropic have unleashed these incredibly powerful new models, but what's really fascinating is how different their philosophies are. You can even see it in their stances on military contracts. OpenAI is working with the Pentagon, while Anthropic has drawn a pretty firm line, reportedly walking away from huge funding over ethical concerns. This gives you a clue that they have two very different visions for what AI should be.
And this really breaks it all down. On one side, you've got ChatGPT, the versatile, get-it-done kind of tool built for speed and just execution. Then on the other side, you have Claude, which is all about depth, nuance, and really careful reasoning. It's a direct reflection of that more cautious, ethics-first approach. So the big question is, how does all that philosophy translate into actual performance?
Well, let's start with a showdown that, for a minute there, seemed to settle the whole debate. This is the story of how Claude, the precision scalpel, just delivered an absolutely stunning victory in a supercritical area, pure, raw reasoning. That's right, 7-0. The tech publication Tom's Guide put both of these models up against 7 impossible tests. And the result? It was a complete 7-0 knockout, all in favor of Claude. ChatGPT didn't win a single round. Not one.
And listen, we're not talking about simple trivia questions here. No way. These were super complex, multi-layered problems designed to push AI reasoning to its absolute breaking point. We're talking physics estimations, applied calculus, and some really tricky logic puzzles. This was a real intellectual gauntlet.
So, what was Claude's secret sauce here? Well, Amanda Caswell over at Tom's Guide called it academic integrity. In one logic puzzle that was particularly revealing, ChatGPT just confidently made up 2 completely wrong answers. But Claude, it correctly figured out that the puzzle was actually unsolvable. It chose to be honest instead of just fabricating something. That is a perfect example of its measure twice, cut once philosophy in action.
So it seems like an open and shut case, right? Claude is obviously the smarter, more rigorous model. Well, the story doesn't end there. In fact, it's about to take a really sharp turn. Because when we switch from pure reasoning to practical, real-world application, the tables don't just turn, they get completely flipped upside down.
So yeah, is it really case closed? Is Claude just the undisputed champion? Not so fast. We're about to move from the world of pure thought to the world of pure action. And this, my friends, is where things get really interesting. We're now entering the world of Agentic AI, and this is a total game changer. We're talking about an AI that doesn't just give you suggestions, it can actually plan and execute multi-step tasks for you right on your computer all by itself. Think about it. An AI that can not only write code, but then actually run it, test it, and debug it without you having to do anything. And here is ChatGPT's big counterpunch. On a benchmark that tests complex command line tasks, ChatGPT scored a staggering 82.7% accuracy. It left Claude in the dust at 69.4%. I mean, that is a massive 13% lead, which just solidifies its reputation as the ultimate doer, the Swiss Army knife for actually getting stuff done. Now, let's talk about what that lead actually means in the real world for you and me. It's the difference between an AI that suggests a code fix for a bug and an AI that can actually go into your system, run the code, and verify that the fix actually works. That is a huge leap forward in practical usefulness. Okay, so we've got Claude the thinker and we've got ChatGPT the doer. How in the world do we reconcile this? Well, it turns out the smartest users aren't picking sides at all. Instead, they're creating what's called a split system, where they strategically use each AI for what it does best. And this isn't just some abstract theory. As Window from the AI Maker's Substack points out, this is a setup that people are just discovering naturally. They're not running some complicated experiment. They're just noticing what works in their day-to-day and adapting their workflows to match. To really make this concrete, let's look at a fun little example from that same Substack, the Gordon Ramsay test.
The challenge was simple. Take a long article and turn it into a punchy, short social media post. Think appetizer, not a 3-course meal, right? The results couldn't be clearer. ChatGPT delivered exactly what was needed. Something punchy, skimmable, ready to post. Claude, in its true form, came back with a mini essay. It was like a beautiful, well-crafted Michelin star-tasting menu when all the writer wanted was a burger. It's brilliant, but it completely missed the point of that specific task.
And all of that brings us to the final takeaway, the split system playbook. It's simple. You use Claude, this Scalpel, for tasks that demand depth and precision, things like deep research, high-accuracy coding, or long-form writing. And for pretty much everything else, brainstorming, quick tasks, short-form content, and especially those powerful agentic tasks, you reach for your Swiss Army knife, ChatGPT.
So what's the big picture here? The goal isn't to declare some winner in the AI wars. It's about building your own personal AI toolkit, and more importantly, knowing exactly which tool to grab for any given job.
And you can absolutely put this to the test yourself. Here's a super simple 5-step playbook to get you started. First, pick a workflow you already do. Second, duplicate the setup in both AIs. Third, run the exact same input through both. Fourth, compare the results. And fifth, commit to whichever one did it better for that one task. It really is that easy.
Because really, at the end of the day, it's time to stop being loyal to the tools and start being loyal to the results. The real question isn't which AI is the best. The question is which AI is the best for this. It's all about understanding their unique strengths so you can always reach for the right tool for the job.